guys, we're back talking about force and motion, and we're going to hear Newton's second law. Last time we heard about Newton's first law of motion, and now we're going to move on and hear about the second. Hopefully by the end of the day you'll understand the greater the force, the greater the change in motion. Again, the greater the force, the greater the change in motion. Newton's second law tells us the acceleration of an object depends on the mass of the object and the size of the force acting on it. What's this crazy word acceleration? Acceleration just means a change in velocity, which is the speed and or direction of an object. So let's read that again. The speed and or direction of an object depends on the mass of the object and the size of the force acting on it. We have some of Newton's fan club here to help us out and help us understand this a little bit better. We have mammoth mass, nice big heavy mass. Remember, we measure mass in grams. We have furious force, really strong, can apply lots of force. And we have mythical motion, always moving, always changing. These three members of Newton's fan club always work together. If you change one of them, all the rest could be changed, or one of the rest could be changed, but it always affects each other. Kind of like if you're on the bus and somebody says something really bad about your best friend, you come to their defense. You say something about it and say, that's not true, my friend is nice, right? So Newton's fan club, they stick together. When you change one, you affect the others. So let's look at some of those examples. If we increase the force that we're using, then we have more motion. If we increase the mass with the same amount of force, we have less motion. If we decrease the mass, we use less mass, we use a ping pong ball instead of a bowling ball, then we either can use way less force and throw it way less, we either can use way less force and throw it less hard, or we can throw it with the same amount of force as you throw a bowling ball, but that ping pong ball is going to go way further. So again, that's Newton's fan club. Mass, force, and motion all work together. If you use more mass, you have to use more force. If you use more force on the same mass, you're going to have a large increase, a lot more motion. And our resident scientist is back to talk to us about how scientists talk. Today he's telling us that scientists measure force in newtons. They write it as an N. And they often use a tool called a spring scale to measure force. Tune back in next time and maybe we'll get to hear about Newton's third law of force and motion.